Master your emotions, master your risk smart.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RoyalBluFX. In today's video, we're going to touch base back on the last week's video, which was pretty much the how to identify the flip zone, okay? This video will talk about the live aspect, the live version aspect of the last week's video. If you haven't seen the last week's video, please go ahead and refer to that video right up here on this link. I'm going to put a link right over here, so you can go refer to that video on the theory side, and this video will be the live version aspect of the previous video. If you're watching this video, please stay until the end of this video because you don't want to miss the most important aspect of how to find and identify the flip zones correctly on a live chart example. And if you haven't already, go ahead and please subscribe to this channel because we always give out free content every single weekend. We drop a nice quality video just like this one. It definitely helps us and the channel. We are also getting a lot of questions regarding our online course and our one-on-one sessions. Guys, I just want to say please be patient because we will be releasing this course very soon alongside with our website. We're working simultaneously on both of them, trying to ramp up everything kind of quickly so we can get everything to you guys with the highest grade quality of content to be given to you guys. Since you guys love how we trade, we definitely don't want to miss out that quality content in our course to give to you. So without any further ado, let's begin with this video. All right, so here we are on a live chart example. I just want to quickly show you guys on a 30-minute time frame that we're identifying a swing low and a swing high right here. This is a range, a confirmed range, and the reason why it's a confirmed range is because the swing low took out liquidity, right? Also chalked, which confirms the low of the range, and then the high did the same. It took out the high, right? Took out liquidity, chalked, going bearish now, right? So this is confirmed the high, the range high. So now we have a confirmed range, which means that we're looking for prices to come and fall all the way down to the demand zone because the demand was never mitigated. This low here is a liquidity line. There's no it's an inducement and liquidity. You can see double relative lows right there, right? In this swing low here, there is no flip, so we're just gonna commit to this swing low over here, which means that this is the only low that was printed, right, when price broke that high. Vice versa, from this high, when price chalked, we can obviously see here that we have a flip area right there, right? We can see if price can come up here, obviously, because this is a flip on this 30-minute time frame. Prices could do this and fall, or we can look at internal structure to see, you know, on a smaller time frame, right? On a lower time frame, excuse me, to see if prices will continue bearish. Now, if they do, you know, that's a good sign. We can go in on these trades. If not, right, prices might kind of might fall a little bit just like this, right? Creating more internal structure like this to then take out the internal structure as liquidity and then fall bearish. That could also happen too, right? So there's plenty of scenarios that price can do, that the markets can do, right? We just want to be aware of what they can do, right? Another thing I want to mention is we have a green dot for the swing low and a green dot for the swing high. The external range, this is external range, right? Which means the swing low and the swing high is considered external range, which also means that between the external range, we have internal ranges, swing lows and swing highs, internal swing lows and swing highs, right? So that also means that this is a swing low here because it took out liquidity and it also chalked, which means that internal ranges also share the external low and external high. So all this internal structure in here, share the external low and external high. Okay, just want to clarify that. So from here on out, let's go to the lower time frames to see if we can catch any entries. Okay, so another thing I want to mention here, actually, I kind of already did this work prior, just so I can show you guys the example, obviously. In here, you can see when price broke, we had a swing high created. This red dot, excuse me, clarifies that this is a swing high. It took out liquidity over there. You can see there's my liquidity line right there, right? So which means price fell, created a new swing low here, right? We could actually take another dot here and place that there. To confirm that this is, there we go, that this is a swing high. So this is a confirmed range in here, which means we can start looking at this internal structure to go bearish, right? So what else do I see, right? So one thing I always tell a lot of my traders is trade what you see, not what you think, right? Just because it's priced down here, I'm not saying to myself, oh, I think price is just going to fall. No, I have to have structure and the market tell me what to see. Oh, excuse me, what I should see, right? rather than me telling myself, I think this is what I see, or I think this is what it is, right? Anyway, here we go. You can see a bunch of liquidity sitting here. So this is very interesting. You can see also I put a green dot here because this is a swing low right there, and you can just see that because right there's more liquidity swept, just like this, right? So this is a confirmed swing high, swing low, and then we can see that it shares a swing high here, which with this right here. So that's a green dot there, right? So we can see we have a range here, right? Now what I'm interested in is in this high here. This high in particularly because this high here there's liquidity right above here. You can see. So in here you can see when price chalked right there, you can see it chalked, right? Because this is a swing high that took out this liquidity, right? This high. And it took out all this liquidity as well, which makes, excuse me, right, hold on a second, which makes this high valid, right? There's your change of character, right? Chalk. Took out the high, internal liquidity, right? Took out the internal high as well. Chalk below. Prices are retracing, right? You can start selling from here if you want, aggressive to go bearish, or you can wait for the confirmation. So now I'm going to draw a demand zone right over here just to have this as a target or an area of interest, a POI, right? Let's do that right there. Okay, let's expand this up a bit. Okay, this is what I always do, even with my liquidity lines, just like that, just so I know it's a line in my demand zone right there. Okay, so let's go down to, actually, you know what? Let's wait for prices to get to our supply zone. So this right here is still an active supply zone right there. I want to show you that because I think you'll see it much more clearer on the 1 minute time frame right here. So right here you can clearly see, look at that, there's a swing high, swept liquidity, and we can put another internal red dot for this. Now this red dot, excuse me, this area here is the flip that I mentioned right there. Let's do that, red dot right here, boom. Right, so that's your red dot right there. That's your swing high. Took out liquidity, so we have a range high to a range low. So right, this is the range here, right? That means price ran, and we're waiting for price to come and mitigate, sweep liquidity, obviously, and continue bearish. Let's see what happens here. All right, okay, prices are going bearish. They actually swept this liquidity internally in here. I can see that. You could actually continue bearish from here, right? You could actually just do this because now price left an inducement right there. Right here. It's inducing the supply zone that was never mitigated, right? So we can wait for either price to get to the supply to sell, right? And this is the funny thing about the markets. We never know when price is going to get to those levels, right? We can only start analyzing and understanding what the market is trying to do, right? So if the markets come up here, then I'm selling to this demand zone, right? If the markets come down to this demand, I'm looking to buy to this supply zone, so to speak, right? So let's see what happens. Let's see right here. Prices are retracing, acting into some demand. Okay, so here, this is very interesting. We're at this demand. Now, I could either take it aggressive, right? And which I don't really like. I don't really take the market or I don't take these aggressive, honestly. But you could, right, if you wanted to. This is just something like this. What we're going to do on this example, I'll show you the flip. So let's see, right? Okay, look at that. Price would have taken you out just by a pip, right? You know, and we always cover the lows, obviously. So we could have done that if you wanted. Okay, let's look here. So we have a high here, right there. There's nothing that I see that I want to be entering from. We have a low down here, a demand zone. We could be, but there's no flip in here. I'm just confirming that right now. This is one of our entry criteria, but there's no flip. Okay, that would have been your entry right there. Right there, that would have been your entry. But then we can look for another one, right? So there we go, price tap the demand. It chalked here. You can see it right there. So here's where the flip becomes really powerful, guys. All right, and after the flip, price just takes off. A lot of times it takes off. Here's the flip right there. What do you call it? Let me take this over here. Well, what do you call this right here? This is your last sell to buy, right? Is it not? And what did this sell to buy do? Right over here. It also swept liquidity, which confirms it as a swing low. The swing low must be the flip must be a swing low or a swing high. It cannot be, it has to take out liquidity before it runs. At least that's what we expect for it to do, because that's what makes this flip a lot more stronger, more powerful, because now we expect for the markets to come in here because this was an unmitigated demand zone, right? Because now there's traders trapped in there. So now we can go in here and say to ourselves, okay, well, we can just go about 50% of the way, right? The 50 EQ. You can go risk right below this wick if you want. And the target is right at the supply zone because this was not mitigated. So we can look to target this supply zone right here, something like that. So if this plays out, that would be great for us. Let's minimize that liquidity line. Okay. So again, just want to iterate, right? This is a flip. A flip must take out some liquidity, right? And it's really a swing low. It creates a swing low, right? You can see there the wick. Let me even take this off. You can see this wick went below that, this candle right here, this white candle, right? This bearish candle. It took it out and it ran up. So that means this is active. You can see this wick also mitigated this low here. That's confirmed. We're done for that. Let's go see what happens now. Okay, price comes in, right? Taps us in. And now we're going to hold it. As soon as price breaks out this main high here, okay, there we go. As soon as it breaks this high here, I'm break even right there. So we just broke this high. We're break even on this trade. That means I'm in risk-free zone, right? If prices should go against me, I will be break even, right? All right, prices. This is really good. Look at that. Boom. Okay, we almost hit that TP there. Let's see what happens here. Okay, there we go. Boom. So we just hit this supply zone right here. This is very nice, right? This is a good setup. Now, there's 3 entries that we did actually here. This is the other entry. This is the other confirmation that we like. Although this was not a flip, even though this video is about the flip. Right, boom, right there. We also targeted above that liquidity line right there, right? You can see that because this wick, this high here, did not mitigate the supply zone. So I'm anticipating for this to actually just drop. Now, in this case, you might be asking us, oh, we haven't had the flip yet, which means that we're waiting for price to obviously give us a change of character, a chalk right over here. Here's the chalk right here, and we will wait for that first. So until this breaks, then we're going to find out what price is trying to do, right? Where price should go. Okay, now price chalked. What I see here is this right there. This is not a flip because price broke above. You can see that, but it's another other entry criteria, which we'll talk about probably in another video right here. But it did sweep the high there. All right, oopsie, excuse me. That was, there we go. It swept the high right there, right? So that means that's our new swing high. Our swing low hasn't created yet. And one of the things I want to always iterate. So you could actually enter here aggressive. Okay. In fact, this can be a confirmed entry. Let me just show you why. This can be a confirmed entry, and the reason for that is because we already have a break of the structure right here. So if you can see right over here, we have a swing high, right, and a low right there, created liquidity. We had this high already break this low. Okay, so can you see that? You can see it from right here. We have a high, right? It came down here and broke this low. So essentially, there's different type of chalks that happen in here. There's this chalk, there's also another chalk. There's different type of chalks because they are fractal, right? But this liquidity area here is a chalk or a change of character. So it broke here, right? So we have this sort of going on like this, right? Like that, which means our flip is the last weak demand, strong supply, right? Here's your weak demand, strong supply. You have a high here, a low here, a high here, and a low here, which confirms this as an actual area to sell away from, right? So you can technically sell there. You don't necessarily need confirmation for this one in particularly. You can take this and target the liquidity pool right here, all this liquidity, right? You can target any of these actually. So this would be a, let's see, what would this be, 7.6%, right? That's healthy. You can also look at, and my other target obviously, let me just show you right here, is all the way down here. Now this is kind of insane obviously, but I'm just trying to make a point here that this, we're looking for price to come all the way down here. Now you obviously should pay yourself, right? You can target this area of inducement as well because this is a swing low as well. You can target this demand as well as your last, right, as your last target. So let's see if we can get the confirmation here, because there's no flip in here. Oops, right here. You can enter there aggressively, like I said. And we're going to go down here. All right, price is just falling right now. You can see that this low here, we have this break of structure right there. Oops, excuse me. So there's two types of, there's actually two types of chalk. So there's this internal chalk, and there's this right here, right, which is also another chalk happening right here. So what I see here is there is no swing high created in here. This is just a bunch of liquidity. You can see these two little areas. So I'm going to wait for that to be swept. Okay, there we go, and see if price can actually, it's swept here, but I want price to come to the supply zone here. All right, but now I need to monitor this low down here to see, can price chalk down here, right? See if we can enter. Okay, it did. Okay, this is very interesting. We're building a bunch of liquidity here. I don't like this. This low here ran up here, left. This is an inducement, obviously, right there. So I would call this as the inducement right there. Right there. And it could induce right for this high here. So we'll take a look at that. Let's see what happens. A bunch of liquidity is creating right here. Okay, that's swept. Okay, that's swept. Oh wow, an aggressive move to the downside. This could also be a breaker actually also, now that I see here. And it looks like here it's reacting off to something here. I can't see it, and I'm not the one to honestly enter from these little wicks in here like that, because I'm going to come back to the origin right there. So we can look to see if we can trade from here, because there's a chalk here. We took out liquidity, chalked here. We can also see if price comes right back to this supply zone. Okay, it's not, and it's just taken on without us. That's okay. All right, it took out without us. So, and that's okay, because again, this sell here is already confirmed right over here, because this is the flip. Weak demand, strong supply, chalked, flip. So you could just sell from there, from here already. Sometimes the confirmations don't happen, but there you go. Let's see if this goes all the way bearish here. Okay, it came right back to the origin. This is what I wanted. Exactly, and this actually makes sense because now that's a swing high. Took out liquidity there. Swing low, took out the chalk in here, right? So we have a range. Let's see if we can have another confirmed entry here. Okay, this is nothing. Actually, this is another type of entry that we do, but it's not the flip yet for this. No flips have happened yet. Okay, the flip is actually coming here. I already see the flip, which is right here. Here's the chalk happening right here. And then you have this whole thing, pretty much this whole supply zone. It's pretty big, but this is it. You can count for the low, for the bottom here if you want, or wait for price to get to the 50. Let's see what happens. This is also a breaker actually, so yeah, this might have already taken off. I already see that price already took out this high, chalked here. There's your other flip in here. You can see price took out the high, right? Chalked in here. Here's your weak supply, strong demand. This is your other supply zone right there. So this was a breaker right over here, because this is a solid body candle that closed, so that would have been the entry right there for the breaker. I don't particularly like to do breakers, but they do happen here and there. Let's continue from here. We can see we also have a sweep right there. This is a swing high. There's no flip in here. Okay, so price chalked above. We're actually moving nice bullish here. This is good. Okay, so we are actually above here to this one. This is creating liquidity. Can we go back to the flip? Did it go above? Let's see. It took out that high, yeah, so that means this whole supply zone is still fresh because it is the swing high, right? Because when price broke, there's your swing high, right? Took out liquidity, it ran. This is your breaker, ran, came back, swept liquidity. So this is a valid supply zone right here. So we can actually start selling from here. This is quite big, honestly, but you can split it 50%. You can split it 50 here at this at the 50 EQ. Risk the first, right? So we could sell it from there, no problem. Let's see if we can target the low down here, because eventually this is where we're looking to target, right down here. Let's continue. All right, can it go bearish? Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay. Right now we can also see that there's a break, a chalk here. Liquidity swept the high, a new swing high here. That means this is your new range, high to low here. Right in here you can see there's your flip. So if you want to continue bearish, you have that swing high, swing low, and it chalked in here, right here. So in here is your last bullish move to sell, right? Weak demand, strong supply, that's your flip. There's your sell over there. So you can just sell there and hold this. Okay, this one went very nicely. Right, so you can sell from there. Right, just like that. Let's see, I'm kind of curious to know if price is going to come all the way down here. It should, in fact, we want price to get down here, right? You never know, right? But this is where you start putting on your break evens, right? So like when you enter here, price broke here, this trade is a break even already. This is also a break even because it broke here, right? It broke the structure. Now this should be break even as well. Let's see if prices continue bearish from here. What we're looking for is another swing high. Also, this is another point of entry. If price gets here, right? When price breaks this low, here's your last weak demand, strong supply. It took out liquidity, it chalked, so it can very well come up there if it wanted to. This is a swing high in there. Price already took off without us, so we can just disregard this. Nothing interesting here. Let's see if price can pull up. Let's play this a bit quicker. There's nothing really. Nothing's interesting in here. This is a swing high though, I'll give you that. And we can look for price to get back to this swing high if it wanted to come back, because there's so much liquidity pouring in here right now. So we can just wait for something like that. Okay, prices are just taking off. Nothing interesting. Normally when prices are coming from the origin, from the high, there's usually like 1 tap, 2 tap, maybe 3 tap, and then it just runs. You can see what we're doing here is we're trading away from liquidity. So that's nice. This is nice right here. Okay, let's see if we can tap this area here. Okay, we do have another sweep. There's your flip there. This would have been a nice one. I kind of went a bit too fast, but this would have been a nice area to continue from. Here's your sweep of liquidity right there. We also have a chalk right here. Let me zoom in here. And then we also have, there's your last buy. Weak demand, strong supply, right? That's your weak demand. Now this one also had to take out some previous liquidity. We can't see it on this time frame, right? But you can go down and scale on the lower time frame to see if this wick took out the internal liquidity. It mostly has done it because it is it's respecting the supply zone, right? You can also see it took out more liquidity, ran. So what do you do here? You wait for prices to get back here for another sell right here. Actually, I would sell from this one as well, just like that. And let's see if it would go bearish. This is our ultimate take profit area. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, we're doing pretty good here. Swept again. Let's see. We have this supply here. This supply is active because this is a swing high. So we can wait to see if price will get there as well. If it does, we can still trade away from it, but we can look for confirmation. Although this is a flip, I just want to mention, price broke this main low, right? Which is your last weak demand, strong supply. This is your supply here. It also swept liquidity, which confirms this is an actual entry. So you could just enter here aggressive if you want, because we have on the far left as a swing high already, and it's a flip, not just any type of swing high, but it's a flip, right? So you could do that. Let's see if we got any confirmation here when you want the chalk to happen. Price did break. It's respecting this high, so there's no flip in this yet. And this is your external. So there's your internal chalk. There's external chalk in here. Your flip would be right over here, although I can see that there's a breaker happening, so this could be another entry right there. So the breaker is from here, right? You do this. You could target something like this, right? So this is what I would see. Let's see if we target, if we get this. Can we get it? Yep. Okay, that's good. It's a breaker, so it should count. All right. We've got another sweep, right? Sweep there. Chalk here. Here's our flip right over here. If it comes there, we'll take another sell. And we've already hit our demand zone right there. Okay, it actually did come there, right here. You can see when price broke here. You can see there's your weak demand, strong supply. This is a flip. It's the last weak demand, strong supply. It's your last buy. This high has to be able to take a supply, right? Previous liquidity in order for it to fall the way it did there. So this would be your last entry right here if you wanted to go this aggressive and at this demand, right? Obviously, you're all the way down in your discount right now, which you should probably stop. And from here, I could take a buy because this is our main swing low at all the way at the very bottom. Now, I'm going to look for a flip here, and if there's a flip presented, I would take it. Otherwise, this is a swing low. You can take it this aggressive if you want. Although I don't take entries this aggressive. You know, let's just put it to the 50 EQ. Just so we have our booties covered. There we go. Let's see if this happens. Play it. Okay, this is just wild. Whoa, this is going fast. So there is no flip in here. Price is taken off. Normally when it does something like this, good luck trying to enter anywhere, right? A lot of people are trying to buy aggressive now in here, right? So we would look to target something like this, right? This supply zone. Let's see, there's a sweep. There's a sweep right there. You can enter again. All right, guys. I think you guys got my point there. But anyway, this is what it looks like, right? So this is how we trade. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever you want to say, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and comment to this channel. And please leave a like on this video to share it with other people as well, just like you. We love you guys. Until then, we'll see you next.